Hey, it's John with Vision Advisors, and welcome to another Insight with Vision. In this particular episode, we want to ask the question, who's watching mom and dad? Let's take a minute to revisit caregiving, especially family caregiving for the sandwich generation. If we look at a survey that was done by Northwestern Mutual, notice what it says here. Parents are living longer, and most of their children are working full time. People are having children later in life, and families are geographically dispersed. These evolving demographics underscore the importance of planning for long-term care needs. Now, that again was from Northwestern Mutual in an article entitled, Caring for Aging Parents is Not a Family Affair. But it's a growing problem that we're seeing across the country in what we call the sandwich generation. Now, what is the sandwich generation? It's adult children ages 45 to 65 who are caring for an aging parent while at the same time raising their own children in their own home. Matter of fact, 47% of adults today are simultaneously caring for aging parents as well as their teenage and sometimes adult children. The stats don't really do that justice when you think of 47% of individuals between the ages of 45 and 65 caught in the middle of taking care of their aging parents and at the same time still raising children of their own or dealing with kids that are coming back home because of the pandemic we find ourselves in today. Now, the big question is really, who's looking after the parents? Think about this. Here's a stat from Financial Advisor magazine, May of 2019. It says the number of adults in the United States in their 60s who have at least one parent alive has more than doubled since 1998. Now, part of that is due to the increasing number of people reaching their 60s, but it's also because parents of this cohort are living longer. We've talked in many of our Insight episodes about the longevity, the Ponce de Leon effect that we see going on in America today, and the fact that people are living longer. Matter of fact, when you take a look at the numbers, they're pretty staggering. In 1998, only 20% of 60 to 69-year-olds had at least one parent living today. Now, that's 3.9 million people. Fast forward to 2016, and you now see 28%, 8% more of 60 to 69-year-olds having at least one parent living. That's 10 million people that we're dealing with today. And this is one of the reasons that caregiving is on the rise in America. There are 43 million caregivers providing unpaid care, informal care in an informal setting to an adult or a child in the last 12 months. Think about that. 43 million caregivers taking care of at least one adult or at least one child in the last 12 months. That's a significant number. 82% of those were taking care of one adult. 15% of those were taking care of two adults. And 3% of those were taking care of three adults or more, oftentimes their own parents and then the parents of their spouse or step-parents that they may be taking care of at the same time. Here's another interesting stat. 40% report their siblings are not helping with parental care. Oftentimes that caregiving is falling upon one individual, often a female, often the oldest daughter, and she is left with the bulk of the burden. Now, here's another interesting stat that's not talked about, but is important as well. Caregivers are spending 26% of their own money every month to help pay for the care that they are providing for a loved one. So not only is this a mental and emotional and a physical cost in terms of the wear and tear on an adult child taking care of aging parents, it's also a financial burden as well. So what's the big disconnect? And here's that. Even though they are dealing with their own aging parents, 72% of caregivers, those giving care to an aging parent, have not taken consideration and have not planned for their own long-term care needs. And a fully 3/4 of them, 76%, believe their own family is going to take care of them just as they are taking care of their own parents right now. Now, the Northwestern Mutual article that we cited earlier really points out the problem with this and the fact that it's really time for an important conversation. Notice the summary of this particular study on caring for aging parents in today's society. Here's what it said. Dave Simbro, who authored the article, says there's a real disconnect between perceptions and realities when it comes to caregiving. With a little foresight and candid conversations, families can avoid the unnecessary stress of decision making on the fly and can take steps, including working with a trusted financial professional to feel confident in the plans that they put in place. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening to this podcast and you're in the financial services business, this is a conversation that you need to have, because 3/4 of the families that you're dealing with that are caring for aging parents have a misconception statistically about who's going to care for them. And if they don't plan today for success, they're planning for failure by default. If you need some help starting this conversation or want some tools to help solve this problem, that's what we're here for, to help you be a problem solver in your community, working with the families that want and need the solutions that you bring to the table. Give us a call here at Vision Advisors, 1-800-505-8489, and let's have a conversation about caregivers and long-term care planning and some of the tools and resources that are available to help you solve that very important planning issue today. I'm John Terry with Vision Advisors. Thanks for joining us and have a great day.